Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to this fourth part series where I give you my 4 best tips to get unstuck on your path to healing your digestion. I've had a lot of digestive issues myself, and I've worked with hundreds of people that have suffered with bloating, abnormal bowel movement, discomfort, pain with their digestion, reflux, and all of that, in addition to all of the symptoms that may be more systemic, but that are linked to poor digestive health, including headaches and problems sleeping, like insomnia, and autoimmune condition, and skin problems, and joint pain, and all of these things that sometimes may be hard to believe, but can be linked to the God. So in this four-part series, I'll start with one of my first step for you so that you don't suffer more than you have to on your healing journey and on that path that you're on to healing your gut, because I've seen it happen so many times. People just they take the hard road to get to where they want to go, where they want to be, where they can finally feel well with their body and not have their whole life revolve around the bathroom and their gut, and if they're going to be able to have a bowel movement today, or if they're going to have to run to the bathroom when they're at the grocery store or wherever. You know that too well. That's very unpleasant. Um, that's a really miserable way to live, and it prevents people with the digestive issues to just do the things that they truly enjoy and to be able to live their life without worrying about their gut. So who am I? My name is Aglaia Jacob. I'm a non-diet dietitian, a heart and soul nutritionist, a self-love guide, and also the author of this beautiful book called Digestive Health with Real Food. The first edition was published 5 years ago in 2013, and now we have a brand new second edition that's out, that has been updated and expanded. It's now a hardcover. There are tons of recipes in it too, and so much information. So if you want to learn more about digestive health, you can head over to Amazon or Barnes and Nobles and everywhere else where they sell books. So here's my first step. You've been waiting for it. Are you ready? My first step is that less is more. And when I hear people suffering from gut issues and thinking that food may be related to their gut issues, well, first I want to say that you're very smart, that you're completely right. And even though many doctors don't agree with that and would tell you that your diet doesn't have much to do, and you just need to eat more fiber and eat less fat and everything will be okay and it's all in your head, that's all BS. And you've been right. There's something that has to do with the way that you eat that can affect your digestion and that can cause inflammation. There might be foods that you eat that are harder to digest or that simply don't work for your body. So going on an elimination diet is a really good route to identify the foods that may be a trigger for you, and that may be part of the reason why you suffer from digestive issues and that you have those gut symptoms um, ruining your life, not ruining your life, but you know what I mean, like really, really interfering with your quality of life. And we don't want that. So when I say less is more, is that, I think that you're on the right path if you decide to go on an elimination diet. But less is more, I mean by that less restriction can actually give you better results. So let me repeat that. Less is more. Less restriction can actually lead you to better results. And I know that may be hard for belief for many of you, even for myself, if, I thought that, but we tend to think that more is better, that more is better. So for many people contemplating going on an elimination diet to improve their gut health and heal their gut, they will say, okay, gluten might be problematic, soy also, those are out, sugar is out, dairy is out, legumes are out, FODMAPs are out, nuts and seeds are out, nightshades are out, histamine foods are out, processed foods are out, refined vegetable oils are out, raw vegetables are hard to digest, they're out. Taking out all of the foods that may potentially problematic. And I agree with you. All of these foods can be problematic for some people. But the thing is that not all of these foods are problematic for everyone with digestive issues. So that's the tricky thing with digestive issues. The symptoms are just pretty much universal. Bloating, diarrhea, constipation, discomfort, cramping, all of that, and reflux. And yeah, those are pretty much like the universal symptoms of gut issues. But the culprits can be really different from one person to another. And I think that by going on a very strict and severe, very restricted elimination diet, we can actually do more harm than good. First, because I've seen it way too many times. I've experienced it myself, and I've seen so many of my clients struggling with that, is that when they eliminate too many foods at once, we got to go crazy a little bit. Maybe not at first, and I don't mean it in a bad way at all. It's just that it's totally normal. As a human being, we're hardwired to get enough food and to get enough nutrition. And when we're deprived of having enough variety in terms of food, our brain, the survival part of our brain, gets activated and goes to look for more food to nourish our body. So it's just a completely normal survival mechanism. It is not your fault if every time you attempt an elimination diet, you seem to lose control. And after a few months, a few weeks, a few days, or a few hours, you cannot stop thinking about all the food that you're supposed to have eliminated, and you end up eating those foods and going back to square one. It is not your fault. It's just that the approach you've been taking is too drastic, and it's not about you. It's just the approach. The approach is kind of the fastest route to failure when it comes to healing your gut, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say, but yes, it's true. I've seen it in so many times, in so many people. So less is more, meaning that start by one of these things that you think, or maybe one, two, or three at the most, that you feel may be the most problematic for you. Or yeah, that listen to your gut feeling. Like, do you think like it's gluten, or perhaps dairy, or sugar, or soy, or FODMAPs? Pick one. It's enough. And if you can really concentrate on eliminating that one category of food or ingredient, and then really focusing on enjoying all of the other foods that you have left in your diet, I can tell you that you can have far better results than someone else going on a crazy strict elimination diet. That's simply the truth. And there are many reasons for that. First, because a very strict elimination diet is not sustainable. Secondly, because it can cause deprivation, and you can be missing out on certain nutrients, and your body will just be hardwired to make you go look for those nutrients that you're not getting in your diet right now. And then it's also about our nervous system, because our nervous system is just so important. And when we're constantly stressed out about food and in a feeling of lack, scarcity mentality, deprivation mentality, this is really bad for our nervous system. It causes a lot of stress and will cause your body to activate the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight or freeze nervous system, as opposed to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest or digest or heal nervous system that we want to be operating under most of the time. But this is really hard for us to be operating with our parasympathetic nervous system, the rest, heal, and digest nervous system, when we're constantly stressed out about food, and when we're physically stressing our body by putting a lot of restrictions in our food and the way we eat. So we end up having our sympathetic nervous system, the fight, flight, or freeze nervous system activated, which makes it that much harder for our body to properly digest and absorb the food we eat, and really put our body in a state where healing is really hard to happen. There might be more cortisol, more stress hormones, more inflammation, simply because of the unnecessary extra restrictions that you're putting on yourself. So it is not only on the mental level, and it's also on the emotional level, and the physical level, on all of these levels at one. Body, mind, and heart, they all work together on your healing path to having better digestive health. So please remember that. And now I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, okay, yes, I understand. That makes sense for some people, but not me. I can handle it. I can handle all of the food restrictions all at once. I'm strong. I can do it. I can do it. Because that was me too. That's what I would have been thinking exactly right now as I would have been listening to this video. So if that's you, that means that this applies even more to you than you think, than anybody else. Okay, please hear me. Please give this a try. I know you've probably tried it many times to be really hard on yourself and to do all of the restrictions at once and to do the very strict elimination diets. But please, 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 if it hasn't worked in the past, it may be time to try something new. So less is more. Start with 1 or 2 food category or ingredients. And I can promise you that your body will thank you because it will receive more nutrients. It will also be easier for you to be in a more relaxed state that will be more conducive to proper digestion and absorption and also to healing. And also it will just feel so much better. And sometimes the impact of eliminating one food that may be causing inflammation or interfering with your digestion can has a ripple effect on your healing journey and really set you on that path to really going to where you want to go, which is to have better digestion, to feel better in your body, and to not be constantly worrying about food and how your gut is going to react to the food that you eat. So trust that there can be a ripple effect from making small, sustainable, long-term changes. And by decreasing the inflammation somewhere, by removing just one food at a time, one category of food at a time, can be huge. That ripple effect, there's no denying that can be all you need to set the stage for the rest of your healing journey and to really get that momentum started for you to start feeling better. So I hope that makes sense. Less is more. This is what I mean by that when it comes to going on an elimination diet. The less restriction can actually be so much better for you on your healing journey at all levels, body, mind, and heart. So this was part 1 of 4 parts on my best steps to healing your digestion and helping you get unstuck on your gut healing journey. So that's it for today. Have a good rest of your week, and I'll be back next week. Namaste.